How does it feel to represent your country?
I think it's the proudest moment for any player to put on, not just in squash, but in any sport, to put on your national T-shirt with Egypt written big and bold on the back of your T-shirt. You know, it's something that you only dream of as a kid, and to be able to do it year after year is something that makes you very proud. And hopefully, we can make our country proud once again in December.
This would be the first time that the men and women would play world teams together. How much would it mean for the Egyptian team to keep both titles together?
I would love it for sure. You know, the squash is moving more and more towards everything being the same, men and women, and now that it's happening at the same time, it would mean a lot to us, to our country, to hopefully bring the titles back home. But it's not going to be an easy task at all. We've got great teams on both genders, so we'll have to do our best to be able to retain the titles.
Do you have to prepare differently for a team event than you would for an individuals?
Prepare not necessarily, because it's the middle of the season and it's going to be at off the back of the Hong Kong International PSA event. Um, but during the event itself, it's tricky because obviously, whether we like to admit it or not, it's quite a selfish sport. You think only about yourself during a match day, but in that occasion you have three other players you have to think of. Even on the days you're not playing, you have to be there for their support. You have to eat in a different timings, and you have to be there at the venue in different timings. So it's tricky. And then um, some days you're not playing, some days you are. It's like even the rest days are different than a tournament, a normal tournament. And then you might lose a very heartbreaking match, and then you have to come back the following day and play. That doesn't happen in a PSA event. So there are many things that you have to deal with differently. But thankfully now the Egyptian team has got the experience that hopefully we can deal with all these issues.
Speaking of experience, world number one, do you feel the responsibility as a leader?
Absolutely. I mean, thankfully, we still have older people on the team like Tariq and Kareem, and probably Tariq and Kareem are the two oldest now on the Egyptian team. But you always feel a responsibility as a leader, whether you're 32 or you're 20, whether you're world number one or you're world number 50. You just have to give it your all. Yourself during your match, and then give it to your all to your teammates, and you always try to be there for them. So but it's a beautiful responsibility, to be honest. Like it's the one event, not the one event, but it's one of the events that I really look forward to every season.
Obviously, yourself and Mustafa, as well as other Egyptians, have close rivalries on tour.
Hmm.
Playing in a platinum event the week before World Teams, do you think that will have an interesting dynamic?
Very interesting, and we had it last year as well. Before New Zealand, we played in Hong Kong a week earlier. Mustafa and I had to play in the semis, and then the following week and Mezen and I had to play in the quarters as well. And then the following week, we were all sharing a room together, and we all had one goal, united for it. So I love the dynamic. You know, it got us a lot closer. You get an insight of how each one of us think, and we lift each other up in a way. You know, if we have a shortcoming here, they would tell me genuinely, because they want the best for me, because they want the best for the team. So it's a dynamic that we lack in an individual sport, and it's really nice to live it at least once a week. It used to be once every 2 years, and now once every year.
How do you think your performances have been at previous team events compared to your performances as an individual?
Well, it's been more stressful, I should say, but thankfully, actually, every time now I'm thinking about it, every time I had to play the second match on, and thankfully I had my teammates bring me on court with a 1-0 advantage rather than a 1-0 disadvantage. So that obviously played a huge role in my stress levels. Uh, but then it was always against England, especially the very last one was against Mohammed, my biggest rival of my career. It was really stressful, and I think we played a great match. But then I held my nerves until the very end, and that was a moment that I was very proud of.